Hey y'all, welcome to episode 33 of Zesty Thoughts with your host Annábla. Welcome back to me and everybody else. I had a little 2-week hiatus. 2 weeks ago, I was super sick, so an episode was not gonna happen. Even if I had recorded, I don't even know what I would have talked about. I was so out of it and just tired, and yeah, that just did not happen. And then last week, I was out of town. I went on another cruise with my parents and some friends. The first time I went on a cruise was not last October, the October prior, October 2023. I went with my parents, and then my mom had her high school reunion the year prior and reconnected with some people from her high school. And they were like, yeah, we go on cruises all the time, da da da. So we planned one, all of us together. And we had so much fun that we're like, let's do another one, because the group of people, everyone was really fun. So we planned another one. And the first time we went was Baja California, so a few stops in Mexico. But it kind of was annoying because there was a storm at the time, so we didn't get off the boat in Puerto Vallarta, or I forgot our other stop was, but yeah, or Cabo. Yeah, that was the one where we were literally docked, and we were, in Cabo, we were literally anchored, and the water was too choppy to let people off the boat. It was dangerous to get off the boat. They had a ramp that goes from our boat to the small boats to taxi us in, and they let one go. And then after they loaded that one, they were no, we can't do anymore. It's the water's too choppy, and apparently they lost the ramp in the ocean. So one group had been able to get off and go see Cabo, and the rest of the boat just had to sit there and just be okay, and look at it from the ship, which was really sad. And then we missed Puerto Vallarta completely because of the storm. That's where the storm was. So the cruise was fun, but getting off the ship, that's the whole point of going on a cruise, is to see, beautiful destinations. And we didn't really get to do that. I mean, we got to explore Mazatlan, which was really cool. I actually have a good friend whose mom is from there. And I wish I had known before, and I could have gotten some tea on cool places to go. But that was still a really nice stop. We went to their downtown area and had a really good tour. So that was really enjoyable. And then the other stop was, I don't even remember, but the third stop wasn't very exciting. So this cruise was very different. It was in the Caribbean. The ship docked out of Galveston, Texas. So we literally had to fly from LA to Houston, get a shuttle down to Galveston. We got there Saturday, and then we had to stay in a hotel overnight because the ship left on Sunday. So we boarded Sunday, but we went to this really good restaurant in Galveston, had some good seafood, and then the next day we boarded the ship, and this ship was a little bit bigger. It's Royal Caribbean Harmony of the Seas. I think the first one we went on was Navigator of the Seas, and it was definitely bigger than the first one. It's just crazy. Still, we're literally on the ship one night, me and some friends, we're oh my gosh, how is this even floating right now? It's so crazy to see how big and how much they can fit on these ships, how big they get. It's insane. But basically we had a lot of fun. We had 3 stops, one in Roatan, which is a small island off of the coast of Honduras, and then one stop in Mahahual, which is Costa Maya. It's a part of the Yucatan peninsula, Mexico. And then the third stop was Cozumel, also Mexico. And that is also an island off of the coast of the Yucatan peninsula. But this was a way better experience for many reasons. First being the ship was massive, unbelievably huge. I think there were 16 decks, or 17 decks, I think. It was just unbelievably huge. A bunch of pools, rock climbing walls, ice skating rink, nightclub, 2 casinos, one smoking, one non-smoking, a central park area where there's an outdoor promenade kind of thing where there's other restaurants, and then an indoor promenade, tons of bars. It was just so cool. And basically, I went with my parents and then my mom's friends from high school, A and A's son, Jason, and Jason's girlfriend, More. Shout out, y'all. And I like became friends with them on the first cruise. So I was like super excited. I was like, sweet, there's people I know, you know? And then my mom's other friend, Lisa, and her husband, Matt. And so it was all of us together. Initially. So we get on the boat the first day and all of us are like, we got the unlimited drink package. Let's go crazy. You know, we went a little bit overboard. If I'm being completely honest, I'm not much of a drinker. For any of you that watched my 21st birthday episode, I don't normally drink that much. I drink like maybe a 2 or 3 drinks max. Even if I've like eaten a lot, and usually that's like a lot for me. So, yeah, I surprised myself this trip, to say the least. My drink of choice was a gin and tonic. I had a French 75 at one point, but it wasn't really the way that I liked it, so it just like turned me off. But the gin and tonics were really good, and I was really, really enjoying them. So was sipping on that. I had a few fruity like tropical drinks too. They always have those on board, especially by the pools. But I don't know, those they were not impressing me. They were good, but like you can only have one and then you get like a stomach ache. So yeah, I was like gin and tonicking it up, you know, you feel me? And it's funny because I'm not really a huge gin person, or at least I didn't used to be. I still have vivid memories of the first time that I tried gin. And it was like the most disgusting thing I've ever tasted. I was like, is this battery acid? Like, I think I was in college and I had some friends that were like literally making like gin and tonics like in their dorm room. And they were like, you want a drink? You want to come over, hang out? I was like, yeah, sure. Someone made me gin and tonic. I was like, oh my God. I had a hard time drinking it. I think I just drank it like to be nice. But it was not very good. So I don't know what was off about that, or if it was just that my palate has changed now. But yeah, after that, I was kind of scarred from gin. So I never drank it. And then my current significant other, when him and I first got together, that was like his drink of choice was gin. So like I would, go over to his place on the weekends and we'd like pregame and then go out and like do stuff, and we'd make like gin and juice, like literally like gin and orange juice. And I think that like because the orange juice kind of cut it, or cranberry juice cut it kind of eased me into the taste of gin and kind of like the botanicals. I was like, wait, I can like mess with this. And so slowly but surely over the years of dating him, I have been a little bit more, you know, little bit more interested in gin and like less averse to it. But now I'm a full-blown gin girly, I guess. I don't know. And the thing that's nice about the drink packages on the cruise is that you can ask for any liquor. So like we were getting a friend of ours who didn't have the drink package, we were ordering her shots of vodka and sodas like to chase. And so obviously I'm gonna ask for Grey Goose every time because they don't charge you differently based on what liquor you ask for. So like obviously you want to get your money's worth, like ask for top shelf every single time. So I was trying different gins. I did some Hendrix. I like Bombay, so I was doing some with Bombay, and I would just try a different gin every single time to see the vibe. But I don't know. I think I'm still a Bombay girly. It's like hard for me to go aside from that, but I do like Hendrix too. Like I had a few with Hendrix and I like it as well, but there's something about the botanicals in Bombay that I'm just like, ooh, like fruity, flowery, you know? But yeah, so that was super fun. But yeah, so basically the first day on the cruise, we all went a little bit crazy with the drink package. You were like, woohoo, we're on a cruise vacation, you know? And basically my dad was hanging out by a bar that was outside on like one of the top decks by the pools, and me and Jason and More like hanging out. We're walking around, we're trying different drinks, stuff like that, and we're just vibing, and we see my dad at the bar. So we meet up with him and we're like, oh no way, da da da. We're like talking, and he's talking to this guy at the bar. And so we start talking to this guy at the bar, and turns out he is there with his girlfriend's family and like a ton, like 13 people, like all together or something like that. They had a ton of people. So shout out to Bryce. If it were not for my dad hanging out at that pool bar, we would not have met Bryce and Ashlyn and like the rest of her family. We had so much, we literally hung out with them the entire week. And we had so much fun. So it was a very different experience from the last cruise because we made friends, and like a lot of them. And every night we'd like go, after dinner, you have like dinner at a specific time on a cruise. Like after dinner, we would all meet up and we'd go to the nightclub and like get drinks and hang out. And then we would like go to the casino at like 2 a.m. And yeah, it was just super, super fun. A lot of late nights. I was going to bed at like 3 or 4. So that was a little crazy. I looked at my Apple Watch notification because I wear it at night to like track my sleep. And it said, after like 6 days, it said, there's a new trend in your like sleep. And then I clicked on it and it showed like an average of like 4.5 hours or something of sleep per night. So yeah, I'm still kind of catching up. It's Wednesday. I got back Sunday. I'm definitely still catching up because I'm a little bit on the sleepy side. Sleep deprivation aside, it was totally worth it to meet new friends and amazing people and just have a blast. We had 3 excursions, me and my parents. The first day was just like a beach day in Yucatan. It was really, really pretty. And me and Moore just like hung out and like tanned, and they had some food there and stuff, and the water was really nice. It was actually colder than I expected. I was expecting the water to be like really warm. Like I went to Florida a few years ago and it was like winter and the water was like warm. That's crazy. It literally feels like a bathtub. But yeah, the water wasn't really that warm, but it wasn't like cold. Like you would sit in it for like a minute and it would be fine. And you would be used to it. You feel me? But yeah, so that day was really nice. Like a funny like side story. Moore and I were laying out on our towels because they had like beach chairs, like lounge chairs there. But when we got there, another tour had already been like dropped off. So it was kind of busy. Wasn't like too busy, but like there weren't that many chairs in a good spot in the sun. There was some in the back, but they had like bird crap on them. So we were like, oh, we're not going to lay there. So we just put our towels down on the sand and, we're laying like right at the front of the beach. And there's like almost like it's like roped off the like chair seating section versus like where the swimming and, where like the actual beach is. I don't know why it's roped off, but it is. So they're like locals that are there, like hustling and like trying to, sell. Some girls braiding hair, some girls offering massages, guys selling like snorkel gear, like random things that like tourists might need, t-shirts and like wood little like trinkets and stuff. And these 2 guys were selling bracelets, like little custom bracelets you could put your name on and stuff. And they walked up to Moore and I, and they were like, "Oh, you 2 beautiful ladies, da da da," like trying to grease us up so we could buy something from them. And one of them opens their palm. He's like, "Oh, can I get you a bracelet?" Da da da. We're like, "Oh no, thank you." He opens his palm, bro, and he has like 3 pre-rolls in his hand. We were like, "Oh," he's like, "Are you interested?" Asking us, and we're like, "No, thank you." Like, bro, like we smoke, but like we're not trying to. We were like, "Oh my gosh, no, thank you." Like we're not interested. I mean, Moore and I were like, if it was not a stranger, we would be down, but like we're like, it's a random person. We're tourists. We're like not trying to, you just never know nowadays. Things are laced. It's not a very safe thing to do, to just take substances from a random stranger that you don't know. So both of us were like, "Oh yeah, no thank you." No thanks. But anyway, it was funny because then I went in the water. There was like this massive fish that like swam by Moore's feet, so she was like freaking out. So I was chilling in the water. I was like swimming a little bit, and then I came back in, and apparently the same guy came back and offered more, like another substance, Coca-Cola, you feel me? And she was like, "Yeah, dude, he literally came back and was like, only for you, like I'll give you a deal, Anyway, we're chilling there for a little bit longer, and all of a sudden we see like police show up, and we're like, what are the police doing here? And then I don't know if it was the same guy that offered us the substances, or if it was just someone else. that was like with him doing the same thing. But one of them must have told the wrong person and offered the wrong person something because I'm pretty sure that someone snitched on them and someone like was in handcuffs and got arrested. We were like, oh my God, we didn't say anything. It wasn't us, you know? But it was really fun. It was a nice time. It was very relaxing. The sun was super strong, like super hot. Like after we were there for like an hour or two when we were laying out, it was like unbearably hot. Like the UV index was crazy. There is something about the sun in Mexico. Like you could take the sun in Mexico with the same UV index as like the sun in LA in the summer, and it's like not the same, girl. That is gonna hit completely different. But we had so much fun. I did get like a tiny bit of a sunburn, but not as bad as it like could have been. In retrospect, I did put on sunscreen and I did reapply. I was a good girl because I'm Irish, y'all. I got that Irish blood in me. I'm like basically transparent, so I have to lather up in the good shit, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I was very proud of myself that I didn't turn into a complete lobster, just like a tiny bit in like one spot in my chest, but we're good. Nonetheless, we had so much fun. That was our first day. It was literally just a beach day. And then we went back to the ship. The second day was in Mahahual, Costa Maya in Mexico. And that day we did like a tour / beach day. So we were on this bus. We had a tour of like the local town. And I forget where else we stopped. We stopped one other spot on that tour. We just kind of got out and took pictures and stuff. And then our last stop, tequila tasting, the most important part. That was our second stop on that before we went to the beach. So we went to this like little tequila hacienda kind of thing, and they told us about the tequila making process and like what's used and all this kind of stuff, and like the laws regarding like, you know, it has to be made in Jalisco and all this kind of stuff. Basically just like the basics of tequila for like people that didn't know. And then they had us try like different tiered tequilas, like aged tequilas, like liqueurs, reposados, like silvers, like all the different kinds. They gave us like little sample cups, and they came by and they let us try literally anything that we wanted. And they were all so good. And I didn't realize that like aged tequilas, specifically like the darker the color, like the longer, I mean, I guess it logically makes sense. Like the darker the color of the tequila, like the longer it's aged. And some tequilas are aged in like brandy barrel or whiskey barrels. And then some are aged in cognac barrels, which is super interesting. And then we did end up getting, we did try a bunch of the liqueurs, and there was a tamarind liqueur that was like so good. I was like, I'm sorry, Mom. Like, but we like need to get this. This is delicious. So we did purchase that and bring it home. And I'm going to save it for Cinco de Mayo so we can make some like yummy drinks with it. And then after that, we went to this cute little beach. They had like little cabanas for us. We got some food, delicious tacos. And then I went swimming there. Okay. I was swimming for like maybe a half an hour, just vibing. And then I got water in my ears. Okay. Got water stuck in my ears. The right ear cleared. You know, I was doing a little shaky shake and the right ear cleared, like, but the left ear did not. So I got out of the water. We're like, okay, we have to go, I put my towel on. We dipped, went back to the ship. My ear would not clear. I was like, I still feel like there's water in my ear. It was like muffled my hearing. So long story short, that lasted a few days. Literally up until yesterday. Yesterday was Tuesday, so that happened Thursday. And then yesterday I went to urgent care because I was like, I can't hear. It's super muffled, and I was having constant ear ringing from like Saturday to yesterday, and I started to feel pain. So I was like, I can't do this. I went to urgent care. Basically, it was like, if you've ever seen those earwax videos where they like squirt, there's like a bucket here, like a white bucket, and then they squirt water in your ear to get like earwax out. Yeah, so they did that to my ear in the urgent care, and this like chunk like the size of like a pea of earwax came out of my ear. Like, ew, it was so gross. But it was instant relief. The ringing went away. I didn't feel any more pain, and I could hear perfectly fine. Like I just kind of like went like this, and the water came out, and that was it. It was perfectly fine. Thank God. So be careful, y'all, because apparently like the salt water can soften up the earwax. And then like when it rehardens, like you don't know how it's going to reharden, girl. Apparently it had rehardened, completely covering my eardrum, which is great. So, but that's okay. That's why I have insurance. You feel me? So that was kind of annoying for a few days. Like after that, I was like, I can't hear, we're like in the nightclub dancing and I'm like, it sounds crazy. But anyway, so that was our Thursday excursion when I got water in my ears and my ear got all messed up. And then Friday, our excursion was in Cozumel. We did a 3-part tour. The first part was a bee sanctuary where they talked to us about the native bees in the Yucatan peninsula that like they don't have stingers and they're really small. Like they look like little flies, but they're so cute and they make like delicious honey. So we tried some honey and we got some like little like lozenges and like drops and stuff like that. They were talking about the medicinal properties and all this like really cool stuff. And these bees basically like burrow in dead trees. Like that's where they make their hives. So it was like super interesting. They had all these like old dead tree trunks like set up everywhere to help them repopulate. You feel me? So that was our first stop. On the way to the next stop, we went to this like little taco stand on the beach. I got a mojito and shrimp tacos. Tacos were like, mwah. The mojito was humongous. First of all, it was like one of those like mega ones. And I was like, we're only gonna be here for like 20 minutes. Like, how am I gonna drink this? I ended up taking it to go, but I've never seen a mojito like this. It was literally like blended, the mint. The mint was like I watched them blend it. They took like mint, the liquor, everything, blended it in a blender and it was like completely pureed. And then they put it over ice and it was like literally insane. The best mojito I've ever had. So yeah, we went there on the way to our second stop, and the second stop was the Mayan Cacao Company. Oh, bruh, if y'all know me, you know that I am like a chocolate fiend. I'm literally a chocolate whore. I'm a slut for chocolate. So when my mom told me that this was part of one of our excursions, I was tripping. I was like, dude, you gotta be kidding me. We're gonna go get chocolate. So we went and they like gave us a tour of like the facility, taught us about cacao, like the cacao plant, like the different colors of the pods and stuff like that, and what's the best one to look for like nutrients and all that kind of stuff. And they talked to us about the history of the cacao plant and cacao beans and how it was used as like currency in the Mayan civilizations. And then we got to try some. And this girl did like a demonstration where she showed us like all the ingredients they add, which is basically just like vanilla, honey, because they wouldn't. Apparently adding milk to chocolate was like a European thing. Like before Europeans came to Mexico, the Mayans and the natives there would add honey to the chocolate. And that was like pretty much it. And that's like what would make it like liquidy to make like actual like a paste, But I'm pretty sure she just added honey and vanilla. I don't remember her adding anything else. And she literally like made it with like a mortar and pestle kind of thing. I forgot the name of like the actual thing she was using, but she made it like right there in front of us and like gave us samples and oh my God. And obviously the cacao beans, like it was so freaking good. I was like, oh my God. And then we went to the gift shop and I got some chocolate to take home. I just got some like 70% dark because I wanted like the dark chocolate. You feel me? And they had like frozen chocolate margaritas for us to like try and buy if we wanted. And then like basically like frozen chocolate, like a hot chocolate, but like a frozen chocolate. So it was giving Frosty from Wendy's, but it literally tasted like if anybody watching has ever had Koala Krispies, the cereal, it tasted like the milk after you eat Koala Krispies. Like I was drinking it and I was like, this is giving Koala Krispies. It's so good. So yeah, that was literally insane. And then I was in a coma after drinking that. And then we had to go to another tequila tasting place. And I was like, I'm going to crash out, you guys. I'm so tired. And it was kind of funny because that was our last stop. And the tour is only supposed to be 4 hours. And it technically like went over 4 hours. Like by the time we got back to the chip, it was like 5.5 hours. So everybody was crashing out after having a bunch of chocolate. And then they took us to like a tequila tasting place. And we were just like, Like you could tell like this dude was giving a presentation, and I felt bad because like no one wanted to be, everyone was tired. We all wanted to sit on the bus and sleep and nap before we got back to the ship. But it was so much fun. We had like such a freaking blast. So yeah, that was our third excursion. It was just like super long. And then we went back on the ship, and there were some cool things that we did on the ship. We went to this like Grease show that was okay. Like the guys kind of sucked. It was a little corny, but the girls all sounded really good. We went to this like water acrobatic show that was insane. Maybe I'll post like a little clip right here. There was this dude tightrope walking, and I was so stressed. He was tightrope walking like really high, and it was, I think it was the back of the ship. Yeah, the back of the ship. And they have this like massive like water arena, and it's like, dude, it was crazy. That show is sick. And then we had all these like delicious dinners. We went to one of like so basically when you go on a cruise, included in the price is like the cafe on board for like breakfast and lunch, and then a nice sit down dinner every single night. That's included in the price of your cruise. But if you want to go to like specialty restaurants on board and have something different, you can. So we went to this Italian restaurant that was on board that was like a specialty place, so it's extra, you have to pay for it. But the food was insane, like so freaking good. What did I get? I got eggplant parmesan, and then they had this like delicious like crab and avocado appetizer, and then what else did we have? Like some bruschetta. They had like a little charcuterie thing. Oh my god, the food was good. And the desserts, girl, the desserts were crazy, so good. Yeah, we had some bomb ass food. Chilled by the pool. We went in the water slide. That was super fun. I went to the gym on board, you guys. Last time on the last cruise, I went to the gym on board, and it was like small and cramped, and it was so busy the time that I went. I had like no space. It was like there was like no chill. This gym was massive. I was like, this is like almost a normal sized gym. Like maybe not like I go to LA Fitness. This is pretty big, but like I was super shocked. They had like every machine you could think of. They had like a full weight rack, Smith machines, a ton of treadmills, Stairmasters, like, and like every machine. Like I did my normal leg day there. They had every single machine that I normally use on leg day. I was like super shocked. So yeah, the gym was super cool. Really, one of the main highlights of the actual cruise ship was one of the performers on board. His name was Justin. He did like a show in the piano bar. Like a few nights, like I think all nights of the cruise except for one, but we went to like 3 or 4 of them. This dude is insane. First of all, he rips. He's such a good piano player, sings great, and literally is like the funniest. I'm gonna just post his IG or something in the bio so you can go watch his lives or something, because this dude is so funny. And he's great. He like calls out people in the audience and like gets people's names and like messes with people and like pranks people. And, you know, it's like an adults, not kid friendly set. It's like, it's so much fun. So that was really, really fun. We went and hung out and watched his set a few times, and it was just so much fun. So yeah, all in all, I had like a great experience. That's really all I have to rant about this week, you guys, because it was just so fun. So I highly recommend you guys go on a cruise. I'm not like getting paid to say this or anything, like obviously, but like I had so much fun. I never thought before that I'd be like a cruise person, and I don't know if I'm like a cruise person. It's one of those things that's an experience that's kind of all inclusive. Like you pay up front and it's your room, it's all your food. If you want, you can pay for all your drinks up front, and then you get there and it's just like, you just like everything, like the service is great. You just get like an awesome experience, and you don't have to like worry about spending while you're there and like the stress of spending while you're on vacation, because sometimes that part of a vacation can be kind of stressful. You pay ahead of time, you can make payments online. It's like a super cool way to like travel and see the world and like meet new people too. You feel me? Anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna go to work, y'all. I hope that you have a wonderful week and a fun weekend, and be safe. And I'll have more stuff to gab about next week. I'm going to be having a guest on soon. I will post about that when it is coming up so y'all can see. And I hope that you have a wonderful week and weekend. Be safe, and I'll see you next week. Bye.